So picture this for a second. A dragon, right? A massive, powerful beast. And its heart, its actual core, is resonating with music.
Yeah, it seems kind of fantastical, doesn't it? Straight out of a story.
Totally. But that's the image Zoran uses right at the beginning of this chapter. Music and emotion, the dragon's heart stirred.
It's a strong hook. Really grabs you.
It really is. He actually says, let me get the quote right. Music is the language of the soul, the vibration that stirs the dragon's heart.
Hmm.
And it goes on about, arousing feelings that words alone cannot express.
Powerful stuff. And what's cool is he's in just being poetic, right? He seems to be genuinely exploring why music affects us so deeply.
Exactly. He's digging into that core connection. Makes you wonder if it's like more fundamental than we usually think.
Hmm.
And that's exactly what we're going to try and unpack today. This isn't just about liking tunes. We're diving deep into why music grabs our emotions. We'll
Right.
look at different theories, how things like pitch and rhythm work, the role culture plays, music therapy too, which is fascinating.
And that whole subjective angle, why one song hits you differently than someone else.
Yeah. So our mission here is to sort of unravel that powerful bond. Hopefully you'll listen a bit differently afterwards. So where do we even start with this huge question?
Well, Zoran lays out some key theories that people have debated for, well, centuries, really. A good place to begin might be with the cognitivist view.
Okay, cognitivist.
Yeah.
What's the core idea there?
Basically, it suggests music represents emotions rather than directly causing them. Think of it like understanding symbols.
So like seeing a painting of a storm. You recognize the feeling it represents, but you're not actually scared.
Exactly. You're an informed observer. You might hear a minor key and recognize it signifies sadness because you've learned that association.
Ah, okay. So it's a learned cultural code, almost.
This.
It implies a lot of it is learned, yeah.
Yeah.
What moves you might not move someone from a totally different culture in the same way.
But then there's the other side, the emotivist view. That feels more gut level, right? Like the music just hits you. Precisely. Emotivists argue it kind of bypasses that thinking process. It directly stirs something primal.
And they'd point to physical reactions.
Yeah, exactly. Your heart racing during a fast piece, or feeling calmer with a slow one. It suggests a more immediate, maybe even universal connection for some elements.
Okay, so one's about the brain interpreting, the other's more about the body just reacting. Big difference.
It is. And then Zoran brings in Leonard Meyer and these theories of musical expectancy. This taps into how our brains work, predicting patterns.
Oh, right. Like you're always guessing what comes next in a melody.
You got it. Our brains are constantly anticipating. When the music delivers what we expect, like a nice resolution, we feel satisfaction release.
But when it surprises you,
That's where the emotion really kicks in. An unexpected chord, a weird rhythm that creates tension, surprise, maybe even unease. It plays with your expectations.
I know that feeling. When a song takes a turn you didn't see coming, it definitely grabs your attention.
It shows listening isn't passive at all. Our minds are super engaged, predicting and reacting.
That makes total sense, like a conversation almost.
Uh,
Hey, what about the brain's reward system? That sounds pretty fundamental.
It really gets down to the biology. This view looks at the neurochemistry. When you hear music you love, it activates pleasure centers in the brain.
Like dopamine.
Exactly. You get that dopamine release, which feels good. It's linked to pleasure, motivation. It's why music can literally give you a rush.
Uh-huh. So that feeling when the beat drops is actual brain chemistry. Love it.
Pure neurochemistry. And then there are the evolutionary theories, thinking way back.
How could our ancient past play into this?
Well, the idea is music might have been crucial for early human survival. Think about social bonding.
Like group chants or coordinating work?
Yeah, or lullabies soothing infants, war cries building morale. The emotions tied to those early musical forms could have become deeply ingrained over millennia.
So our reactions today could be echoes of those ancient survival functions,
Yes.
even to, like, electronic music.
It's possible. It raises that question, doesn't it? Are these deep feelings remnants of something essential from our past?
Wow. Okay, so it's not just one thing. It's probably a mix of brain interpretation, body reaction, chemical rewards, and maybe even ancient history.
That seems to be the picture Zoran paints. It's complex. Cognitive, emotional, biological, evolutionary, all tangled together. That's why music has such a grip on us.
Right. Okay, so we have some ideas about the why. Let's get into the how, the actual musical elements. Zoran breaks down pitch, rhythm, harmony, timbre. Let's start with pitch high sounds, low sounds.
Yeah, it seems basic, but it carries a lot of emotional weight. High pitches often feel like excitement, joy, maybe even anxiety. They can be quite stimulating.
Creates a sense of energy.
Exactly. Where lower pitches often feel more like sadness, seriousness, mystery, maybe because they feel heavier, more grounded.
Like a deep cello versus a light flute. You feel the difference.
You do. And Zoran mentions these frequencies might even have subtle physical effects affecting our arousal levels.
Interesting. Okay, what about rhythm? The beat, the pace?
Huge emotional driver. Faster tempos generally energize us. Excitement, urgency, sometimes anxiety. They mirror our own faster heart rate in those states.
Yeah, slow tempos.
Usually calming, suggesting peace, sadness, reflection. But it's not just speed.
What else?
Rhythmic complexity. Syncopation, where the accents fall in unexpected places.
Yeah.
That can create unease or anticipation or even feel playful. It messes with the expected pattern.
And rhythm makes you want to move, doesn't it?
It does.
You feel it physically.
Absolutely. It engages the body directly. You tap your foot, you nod your head. It's instinctive.
Okay, now harmony.
Yep.
Notes sounding together.
Mhm.
Consonance and dissonance. Those are the key terms.
They are. Consonant harmonies, the ones that sound stable, resolved, pleasing, usually give us feelings of peace, happiness, comfort, like everything's settled.
And dissonance.
That's the clash, the tension. It evokes anxiety, anger, longing, suspense. It feels unresolved, like something needs to change.
So the back and forth between them creates the emotional drama.
Precisely. It's that journey from tension to release, or building tension without release, that tells an emotional story in music. Composers are masters at using this.
Crafting emotional landscapes, like Zoran says. Okay, last one. Timbre. That's the sound quality itself. Like a trumpet versus a violin playing the same note.
Exactly. The unique voice or texture of an instrument or singer. A bright, clear timbre might feel joyful or innocent.
While a darker, rougher sound might feel.
Sad, maybe. Or powerful, mysterious. Think of a rasping voice versus a smooth one. And timbre carries huge cultural weight, too.
How so?
Well, the sound of a specific instrument, like Zoran might mention, maybe a sitar or bagpipes, can be deeply tied to specific cultural events, emotions, or identities. It adds layers of meaning beyond just the sound quality.
Ah, so the instrument itself brings emotional baggage, in a way.
It can, definitely. Composers pick instruments very carefully for their timbre, for that sonic color palette to paint those emotional pictures.
Fascinating how all these basic blocks build such complex feelings.
Right.
But you mentioned culture. Zoran emphasizes that our background really shapes how we react, doesn't it? It's not all universal.
Absolutely not. Biology gives us a starting point, but culture is a massive influence. He talks about cultural conventions.
Meaning.
Different cultures develop unique musical systems, scales, harmonies, rhythms that get tied to specific feelings or situations within that culture.
Like, funeral music in one place might sound totally different and carry different emotional weight than funeral music somewhere else.
Exactly. The sounds themselves become codes for certain emotions or contexts, but you have to be part of that culture to fully get the code.
So it's like learning an emotional dialects through music. These are learned associations then.
That's the term Zoran uses. Through just being exposed to music in our culture, we learn to connect certain sounds with certain feelings, and these connections are powerful.
And they can vary wildly between cultures.
Oh, definitely. A melody or rhythm that means celebration in one culture might signal something somber in another. Zoran gives an example, I think, about a pattern meaning sadness versus mourning subtle but distinct cultural nuances.
It really drives home that music's emotional language isn't totally universal. We hear it through our cultural filter.
We do, and it's not just the music in isolation, is it? Zoran points out that the context is also critical.
Where and when you hear it matters.
Hugely. The exact same piece can feel completely different. His example is perfect. Joyful music at a wedding feels right. Hear that same song at a funeral? It evokes sadness, loss, longing.
Right, the situation completely reframes the emotional impact.
Your own mood, the social setting, the occasion, it all feeds into how you experience the music's emotion. It's not just abstract sound waves hitting your ear.
It's embedded in life,
Mm-hmm.
which leads nicely into the next bit, music therapy. This is where that power is harnessed intentionally, right? For healing.
Exactly. It's a recognized health profession. Therapists use music strategically within a therapeutic relationship to help people with all sorts of needs: physical, emotional, cognitive, social.
So it's more than just putting on calming music, it's specific interventions.
Oh, yeah. Very specific goals.
Mm.
Zoran lists several applications. It's used effectively to reduce anxiety and stress. You can actually measure the physiological changes.
Lower heart rate, things like that.
hmm And pain management, too. It can be a great distraction, maybe even help release endorphins.
Wow. And for emotional expression.
It offers a nonverbal outlet. For people who find it hard to talk about feelings, music can be a way to explore and express them safely. Think about trauma survivors or people with communication difficulties.
That sounds incredibly powerful.
Right.
What about thinking cognition?
Music structure can actually help. It's used to improve memory, attention, especially with neurological conditions, and socially.
Like in group therapy?
Yeah, it helps build connections, communication, bonding, and sometimes it's simply used to promote relaxation and just general well-being. It's used everywhere: hospitals, schools, care homes.
It really shows how deeply music affects us on so many levels. But even with all this, Zoran circles back to the individual experience. Subjectivity.
Which is crucial. Because ultimately, how you experience a piece of music is unique to you.
Our personal history, our mood right now, our culture, it all comes into play.
Totally. Zoran calls it our personal lens, your own life experiences, memories, associations. They all shape how you interpret the music's emotional meaning.
Like a song that makes me feel happy might make someone else feel nostalgic or even sad.
Exactly, because maybe for them it's tied to a memory, a person, a time that brings up different feelings. One person hears a melody and gets a flood of specific memories. Another hears it and feels nothing much because they don't have that connection.
So there's no single right way to feel about a song.
Nope. It's this dynamic dance between the music itself and your own inner world.
And Zoran actually says this adds to music's power, right? It doesn't weaken it.
Precisely. That personal connection is what makes it so profound. It allows music to resonate really deeply, individually, touching our own hearts and souls, as he puts it.
Yeah.
It connects us to our own unique lives, and through that, maybe reminds us of our shared humanity.
It's more than just sound. It's the meaning we pour into it or find in it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So quite a journey we've taken there through the why, the theories, from cognition to evolution, the high pitch, rhythm, harmony, timbre, the cultural filter, the healing power in therapy. And finally, landing on that very personal, subjective experience, a real deep dive into Zoran's Dragon's Heart Stirred.
It really covers a lot of ground, showing how music's effect is this layered thing: biology, psychology, culture, personal history, all wrapped up together.
It makes you think, doesn't it? Maybe consider a piece of music that really gets to you personally. What is it about it? Is it the melody, the beat, the instruments, that timbre?
Yeah, and maybe think about why it hits you that way. What memories or feelings from your own life does it connect with? How might your background shape that?
It's definitely something to mull over next time you're listening.
Yeah.
Perhaps even try exploring music from completely different cultures and notice how your own learned reactions kick in.
It's a fascinating exercise.
Well, it certainly reinforces that music is this incredibly potent, complex force in our lives, shaping our human and maybe, just maybe, our inner dragon's experience in ways we're still figuring out.